There are 6 traits all of the highest performing sales reps have in common. I believe this message is relevant to anybody looking to win, increase their income, find more success, reach that next level in their life and career. The reason this message is so important right now is because the CEO of my company got in front of our entire sales organization today and he said, look, I've observed the highest performing sales reps across the globe, and there's 6 things all of them have in common. That message resonated with me so much that I wrote each of them down, and I'm prepared to share each of them with you here today in a relevant story and anecdote to really drive the point home. Our channel goal is 15,000 subscribers, so subscribe now if you're not already. Hit the like button, comment down below for the algorithm as well. Trait number 1 is that the highest performing sales reps are relationship building machines. Intuitively, you understand, I need to build a great relationship with my customer so that they ultimately buy my product and solution. They say you're selling yourself. The relationships that also equally matter are with all of the relevant stakeholders that you interact with, your colleagues, your partners, that janitor that's cleaning your office. For example, I was eating at a restaurant yesterday, a quick service restaurant, $15 sandwich. I was sitting there by myself, and there was this guy, he wasn't even my waiter, he worked at the restaurant, and he was smiling, he was fist bumping everyone, and he was just crushing it. So as I walked out, I said, look man, you're doing an exceptional job. I really respect what you're doing. I wanted to acknowledge him. One of the fundamental principles of relationship building is to give with expecting nothing in return. So I didn't expect to get anything. I just want to tell the dude, hey, you're doing a great job. His boss happened to overhear me. His boss walked out of the restaurant and said, sir, thanks so much for leaving that feedback. I'm his leader, and we're really excited that you had a good experience here today. It made me feel good. It made them feel good. I wanted to give with expecting nothing in return. So ask yourself, how can you add value to other people without expecting anything in return? And you keep doing that enough, eventually you'll start to get yours. And that is one of the core principles of building relationships. And you may be thinking, well, Trent, I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk to other people. I'm an introvert too. But planet Earth has 8 billion people on it, and it's not necessarily the best place to be an introvert. So get out there, start talking to people, start letting people know that you appreciate them, that you respect them, that they're doing a good job, and you'll start to build more relationships with not only your customers, but also your partners, your colleagues, all the stakeholders. And I promise you, maybe it won't result in more success, but you'll feel better about yourself and you'll show up excited to work each and every day. Trait number 2 is to understand and know your buyer personas. Ask yourself, if you worked at a shoe store, let's say you're slinging some Nikes, a customer walks in and says, hey, what shoe do you think I should buy? And you think, well, I know the shoes so well, I'm just gonna go grab some shoes. All of a sudden you start to try and put them on the customer's foot. None of them fit. The customer hates them, walks out of the store. You don't even understand your customer's shoe size, foot size. How are you ever gonna prescribe a solution that meets their needs? It's the same thing with selling, especially solutions. You need to understand your buyer persona. Do you sell into the HR department, the marketing department, the customer success department, the IT department? It starts with understanding the department, because you ask yourself, what makes up the department? People make up the department. What are the roles that make up the department? Okay, you got the manager of HR, you've got the director of HR, you've got the VP of HR, and you've got the chief human resources officer. There's a hierarchy within the department of an organization, which then is a whole hierarchy in and of itself. So a way that's really helpful for me to think about this is you're speaking with a director, let's say. They have unique individual goals. That is your buyer persona. What do they care about? Their goals contribute to the department's success. Okay, the human resource department is able to attract more talent, retain them, and develop them. Okay, that department's goals and objectives contribute to the organization's success. So ask yourself, what does the organization care about? And that's going to get into the next point as we think about business acumen. What does the organization care about? The strategic priorities. How can you reverse engineer that to understand what does your unique buyer persona care about? How does that contribute to their success so that they get promoted, so that their department's happy, so that the organization is more successful as a result? And that is one of the fundamental principles to selling more and truly understanding your buyer persona, what they care about. Because the director is going to fundamentally care about something different than the VP, although they're in the same department, and it may seem like they care about all the same things. The number 3 trait here of high-performing reps is to have a strong business acumen. It's table stakes to look the part, to be wearing the collared shirt, to show up, talk professionally, have your body language, keep your hands in your little box, to look the part, to smell the part, to feel the part, and to command that presence in the room. But the next layer of this is to understand what is happening in the marketplace that might be relevant to your customer? Okay, let's look at this. Rising interest rates. I work in technology. What has rising interest rates done to impact the technology industry? Okay, these companies are all of a sudden less profitable, valuations are being crushed, hiring is being frozen, there's a lot of layoffs you see in the marketplace. That's one example. What's another example? War in Ukraine with Russia. Imagine if your customer operates in EMEA. Do you think that that's going to impact their business? There's different events going on in the world that will impact your customers. So ask yourself, are you reading current events? Do you understand what's going on in the world so that as you think about your customer's unique business, how is that impacting them? So how can you start to think about how your solution is going to be of unique value to them? And that comes with the business acumen, because if you get that manager that you're cold calling on the phone and they say, hey, I'm going to include my chief executive officer on the next call. You're thinking, okay, that's exciting. You need to be able to bring a point of view to them. You need to be able to be current to them because they're thinking multiple steps ahead. Future of work. How do interest rates impact our business? Okay, what is hiring going to look like? Okay, how are we going to deliver our product when supply chains are all messed up? You need to be thinking about these things so that you can be viewed as a consultant and a true partner, an associate that's there to help their business. If you're enjoying the video so far, check out the first link in my description below afterwards. Sales Prestige, it's my second channel. I post a new podcast weekly. The channel just became monetized. I put a lot of effort into it, so I think you'll really like it. So go check that channel out and subscribe to that channel afterwards. Trait number 4 is that they're amazing storytellers. I tried to tell a brief story as to why it makes sense for you to take 7 seconds to click on that link and go subscribe to Sales Prestige. But ultimately, think about it. I gave a logical argument. So many of you were thinking, okay, Trent, that's cool, but I'm not actually gonna do it. I'm just gonna keep watching the video right now. Or maybe you didn't like that and you clicked off, which is okay as well. Amazing storytellers are people that can convey people to buy on emotion. If you think about it, humans have logic in their brains. They say, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. so that I can work out. I'm gonna be disciplined with my eating because I'm following a diet. And I'm gonna read before I go to bed. But the emotional side, the monkey brain, the animal brain of yourself says, if I get out of bed this early, I can't run because I'm gonna die. Well, that donut, it's pretty small. It's not gonna make that big of a difference. Okay, I'm gonna go watch this Netflix show instead of reading a book before I go to bed. You know what you should be doing, but oftentimes you don't do it because of emotion. Your customers are the same way. You can present the most valid, logical argument in the world as to why they should buy. Hey, there's a $1 million ROI within the first 5 days. That's pretty compelling, right? But oftentimes they may not buy because they buy based on emotion, the feeling. They say, hey, this feels right. I want to work with that person. How do you do that? It starts with understanding their problems and understanding customer stories and being able to uniquely listen actively to them and empathize as well. So that when you're talking about why you're a good partner, they say that person really hears me. They just really understand. And all of a sudden you are now more differentiated against your competitors. The person wants to work with you. You become friends. It goes into that relationship piece. So think about how can you become a better storyteller? And it starts with watching people that you believe are good storytellers and ask yourself, what do they do differently? Is their tone, pitch, inflection? How do they operate? How do they move? How do they tell stories? How do they make you feel seen and heard about the unique challenges you're facing? Think about all these things. Trait number 5 is that the highest performing reps are not afraid to challenge their buyers. We as humans are naturally inclined to seek diffusion, to avoid conflict, because we don't want to die. We don't want to experience pain. But when you are challenging your buyer, you're going to feel some pain and they're going to feel some pain. I like to think of it as controlled chaos and a healthy imbalance of uncertainty and confusion and tension. I was being mentored by one of the top enterprise leaders in the West of my company. He said, healthy tension is the best thing you can have when working with procurement. It's that feeling when you get on the call, you're a little nervous to get on because you know that they're pissed at you and you're pissed at them. When a customer tells you something like, hey, we want to have a solution in place by November 1st, and you say, why? And they say, well, our executive said it's important. You say, who is that executive? Can we bring them in on a conversation? And they say, no, they don't need to be involved in the process. Well, hold on. You said, the executive said that it's a priority for you to focus on. It would seem to me that it's important for them to be a part of our evaluation process. Would you agree? And you need to be willing to push back on them. When you get a prospect on the cold call and they say, no, we're not interested. You say, Well, what about this doesn't work for you? I haven't even told you what our solution is yet. You don't know who I am, and you've already written us off. It's uncomfortable, and it never gets better, and we're wired to avoid that. So use that as a sign to say, if I feel nervous about saying this or doing this, that is a signal to take immediate action and go do it. The sixth and final trait of high-performing reps is ruthless focus on winning. Think about the Kobe Bryants of the world, the Michael Jordans. Why do you love these athletes? It's because you know that they dedicated everything to elevate and increase their performance because they are focused on winning. That's all they care about. When you interact with people around you, you know the people that have that fire, that dragon blood. Ask yourself right now, are you that person that's known for showing up early, for staying late? Are you that person that goes out of their way to build their relationships with the people that may seem inconsequential, but are still important because you want to build a relationship with everyone because you're a machine at it? Are you one of those people that's focused on winning and cares about actually doing the research to understanding your buyer persona? Are you that person that cares enough about winning that you actually go read a news article or listen to a video talking about a current event that will allow you to seem to be more valuable in front of your customer? Are you somebody that cares about winning enough that's going to go out of their way to understand and learn how to tell great stories? Are you somebody that cares about winning enough that's willing to challenge their buyer and seek out discomfort in order to get a shared objective that makes everybody more successful? Winning to me means doing whatever it takes to achieve that desired result or outcome you have. So ask yourself, what is the gap between where you're at today and where do you want to be? And what are you willing to sacrifice to become that person that you dream about becoming each and every day, but you keep putting off because you say, I'll start on Monday. I'll start next month. Hey, I'll start at the beginning of the year. I got a trip coming up. I'm not ready. I decided this week on Monday, and I said, I'm going to start training for a marathon tomorrow, effective tomorrow. Printing out the schedule, a couple days in, keep me accountable to that, guys. But that's what it looks like, being willing to do whatever it takes to go win. And if you don't feel like you're surrounded by winners, be the winner. Be the winner in the room. And people will naturally gravitate towards you. People will look up to you. And next thing you know, you'll be the leader and you'll be helping other people win as well. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, comment anything below if you haven't already for the algorithm, as I said. If you don't know what to say, comment the mountain emoji. I just saw this video on New Zealand mountains, absolutely breathtaking. Subscribe to this channel now so we can get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the day. And while you're at it, while you have 7 seconds, click on the first link in the description below, Sales Prestige. I post new podcasts weekly. I want that channel to be at 2,000 subscribers. We just monetized. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love those videos even more. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you in the next video. Bye.